Assalamu alaikum students, hope you are doing good. So in this video we need to do part B of question number 5. The exercise is same, exercise 2A, book is D1, right? We have already done part A of this question and now let's do part B. Okay, again the same question, we have to draw the number line and we need to plot all the given numbers on the number line, right? So first of all, let's see what are these numbers. Starting from minus 0.5, then I have 150, then I have 15, then I have minus 10, and then minus 3 upon 20. So these are the 5 numbers that are given to me. It's a mixture of numbers. You have decimals, you have fractions, you have whole numbers. Either these are positive and negative. So it's a mixture of numbers. Okay, first of all, before plotting the number line or before drawing the number line, we have to make one thing sure that we can easily plot these numbers in a number line. So first of all, whenever you have any fractional number, any fraction in your quotient, you need to convert it into a decimal one, into a decimal equivalent. Why? Because it will be easier for you to plot a decimal value other than a fractional value when you talk about number line, right? So as I was talking about fraction, so here is one of the fraction that I need to convert in decimal, minus 3 upon 20. It's difficult for me to plot this value on a number line. Why? Because I don't know what is the exact value of it. So in order to find out its actual value, I must convert it into decimal. Okay, this would be my first step. Whenever you have any fraction, you need to convert it into decimal so that you can easily plot this value on your number line. So let's do it first. Okay, in order to have its decimal equivalent, we have to divide 20 like this. We have to divide 3, the numerator, by the denominator, that is 20. Right now, we know that the value that needs to be divided is small. 3 is a smaller value. So what we will do, we will add a 0 to it. And in order to add the 0, we must have a decimal in my answer. I need to add a decimal over here, right? Because I know that when I add a decimal, it gives me 3 zeros. When you plot a decimal or you just write a decimal in your answer, it gives you 3 zeros. You can add 3 zeros anywhere whenever you want them, okay, as per your requirement. So I have used 1 0 like this. I have used a 0 over here. Why? Because 3 was a smaller value. It was smaller than 20. I cannot divide it directly. So I must have a 0 here. So I have used the first 0 by writing this decimal. Now let's divide it. 20 ones are 20, then the remainder is 10, right? Okay. Again, we have a smaller value than 20. It cannot be divided by 20. So I need to add another 0. Keep in mind the decimal has already been written. So I can directly write a 0 over here and divide this by 20. I know that 20 multiplied by 5 is 100. It means this is now completely divided. So I can say that the fraction 3 upon 20 has a decimal value 0.15. Look at over here. It is 0.15. It can be written as 0.15, right? As you know that the value that is given to you is in negative, minus 3 upon 20, right? So you can say that it is equals to, the value remains same, only the sign will add up, minus 0.15. This is the decimal equivalent of this fraction. So this was the first step. You need to find out the decimal values of each of your fractions like this. Okay, now we are moving towards the main question. The question says that you have to plot all your values on a number line. Okay, so before drawing the number line, we must notice that what are the largest and the smallest values that must be drawn or must be plotted on your number line. We must have a quick review of that. Why? Because it is important in order to draw the number line that we actually require. How much long the number line we require. It depends on the numbers that we needs to plot. Okay, so the largest value that can be plotted is 150, right? 150 is a positive value. On the right hand side, you are going to plot the highest, the largest value, that is 150. Okay, let's talk about the smallest value or the negative value. The most negative value we have is minus 10. So it means we must have to draw a number line in such a way that we can easily plot 150 and minus 10 on our number line. We must have this much bigger number line. Okay, so let's start it. Okay, if I plot a number line like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I am going to have 150 these kind of sections in order to plot 150. I need to mark 150 such sections. So can you imagine how much bigger the number line will become when I'm going to do this way? It is not an appropriate way to plot long or larger numbers or very small numbers in your number line. It's not the appropriate way to do this. So the other or the alternative way to plot bigger values or very small values on a number line is that you have to shrink your number line. You need to shrink your number line the same way that you have done in part A of this question. Shrink the number line. Shrink means that you must have this difference bigger. You need to have this difference bigger. Like I can say that this is my number line, but now I am marking the difference like 20, right? I'm considering this little difference that must have the values between 0 and 20. It is going to have values like 1, 2, 3, 4, so on till 90. All these values are going to appear in this distance. Then again, after the same equal distance, I'm going to mark 40. It means now this is going to have the numbers like 21, 22 until it will be 39. So in this way, I'm going to shrink the number line. 40, the equal distance, and after that I'll mark 60. I'm going to mark the numbers with a difference of 20. Add 20 to each of your number. Then you have 80, then you have 100, then you have 120. In this way, you can plot the numbers that are larger. Like you can easily plot 110, 130, 150 in this number line after shrinking it, right? So this is the way to do the things when you have larger and very small numbers. Okay, let me just remove it and make it a clear one. Okay, let's just remove this number line. Okay, moving towards the question. Okay, let's draw the number line that we actually require. Okay, let's suppose this is number line that I require, right? This is my 0. Starting from 0 on the positive side, I need to mark the differences by 20. 40, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, and so on, right? 150, the largest value is less than 160. So I know that I can easily plot this in my number line. Okay, let's talk about the left hand side before 0. We have negative values before 0, but keep in mind that you cannot plot like this -1, -2, -3. No, you have to follow the same numbers on the left hand side as well as you have done in positive side. Okay, so just follow the same distance and same numbers. Okay, now at the same distance, opposite to it, this is plus 20. At the same distance opposite to it, I will be having minus 20, right? And with the same distance, I'm going to have minus 40. With the same distance, I'm going to have minus 60. This is the way to draw the number line, right? Just follow the same distance and same numbers that you were doing on positive side, follow the same on negative side, right? Okay, one more thing is that since we have minus 10 is the negative most value that needs to be plotted, so we know that minus 10 is going to come somewhere over here between minus 20 and 0. So we don't need to make a very big number line, or we don't need to plot very a lot of numbers on my left hand side. Just mark as much numbers as you require as per the requirement of your quotient, right? So it's enough for me if I mark till minus 20. Why? Because I know that minus 10 is the smallest value and it is going to be over here in between 0 and minus 20, right? So uh, this is actually the thing or the way to draw your number line. Okay, after drawing it, let me clear all this irrelevant knowledge or irrelevant drawing. Okay, let's make it a little clear. Okay, this is my number line like this. Okay, so this is my left hand side. It's having all the negative values. Okay, this is my number line. Now let's start plotting the numbers that I have. Starting from the first number, that is minus 0.5. Okay, it's a negative number. It must be placed before 0, right? We know that on a number line, all the negative numbers appears before 0 as they are less than 0. So minus 0.5 is a number that can appear between 0 and minus 20. If I talk about this number line, I have minus 20 and I have 0. And I know that minus 0.5 is going to appear in between these two values, minus 20 and 0, right? So let's see that what are the numbers that can appear between minus 20 and 0 so that I can find out the exact position of this number, right? Let's see this. My number line has two numbers, minus 20 and 0. Let's suppose this is the distance between the two numbers in my number line. So I need to plot how many numbers in this particular distance. Let's see this. Minus 20, after minus 20, I have minus 19, then minus 18, then minus 17, minus 16, minus 15, minus 14, minus 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0. These all values will be negative, right? These are the negative values that are going to be marked in between minus 20 and 0. These values are going to be marked over here in this particular distance. This is the only distance where I have to mark these values, right? So since the number is minus 0.5, so minus 0.5 would be where it is a value that is in between minus 1 and 0, right? Minus 0.5 is a middle value of minus 1 and 0. So can you imagine how much near this value would be from 0? We need to plot it just very, very close to 0. Why? Because if uh, I need to make how many divisions between minus 20 to 0? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I need to mark 19 lines in order to plot these numbers like this. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Can you imagine? 19 lines must be drawn between minus 20 and 0, and the last line would represent minus 1. And minus 0.5 is going to be in between minus 1 and 0 over here. So it means minus 0.5 is very, very close to 0, right? So we can have an approximation. We can just mark a line by it's just an approximation. It cannot be the real distance. Okay, let me just remove it and mark. Okay, okay, here it is. Let's suppose this is my 0. Okay, then I know that minus 0.5 is going to be very, very close to 0. Let's suppose over here, right? So just draw. It's an approximation. I'm again saying why, because we know that it's a very small value, right? And since we have a very small distance to accommodate too much value, so it's just an approximation that it is very, very close to 0, somewhere over here. Okay, so I can mark it as minus 0.5. Clear? Okay. Now, the second number that is given to me is 150. Okay, 150 is very easy to plot. Why? Because on my number line, I have 140 and I have 160. And I know that 150 is the middle value of these two numbers. So it is going to be placed somewhere over here. The middle one, the middle value of 140 and 160 is 150. This is how you are going to place it. Now I have 15. Okay, 15 would be the middle value, not exactly the middle, but it is going to appear between 0 and 20. If if I find out the exact value of 15, then um, let's talk about the middle value. Between 0 and 20 is 10, and the middle value between 10 and 20 would be 15. So I need to plot it somewhere over here. Let's suppose this is 10, the middle value, then 15 is going to be over here. Why? Because 15 is in between 10 and 20. So the middle value of 10 and 20 would be 15. Let's draw it like this. Okay. I'm just removing 10 from here. Why? Because it is just for your convenience, or in order to tell you that where would be the position of 15. Okay. Let's draw it with black. Okay. Okay, now the next number that is given to me is minus 10. Okay, if I talk about minus 10, then minus 10 is a negative value. So if I talk about the negative values, then it is going to be in between minus 20 and 0. Why? Because I know that the negative values increases this way, like minus 20, then minus 19, then minus 18, minus 17, minus 16, and so on. So the middle value of minus 20 and 0 will be minus 20. So let's find out where the position would be. This is your minus 20 and this is your 0. So the middle point would be over here. Just draw a line and mark minus 10 on it like this, right? Okay, the last value. Okay, let's see where the last value could be placed. Okay, the last value minus 3 upon 20, that is equals to minus 0.15. Okay, if I talk about the same distance like minus 20 and 0, we have already seen that this distance is going to have 19 values from minus 19 till minus 1. Okay, minus 1 is the value that is more nearer to 0, the most nearest value. And I know that minus 0.15 is even larger. It's a larger value than minus 1. It is going to be in between minus 1 and 0, minus 0.15. So let's see that where it can be. Okay, if I talk about the values between minus 1 and 0, then it will be, let's talk about this distance, the values in between minus 1 and 0. It will be minus 0.9, minus 0.8, minus 0.7, minus 0.6, minus 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, and 0.1. These are the values that are going to be in between minus 1 and 0. These all values will be plotted in between minus 1 and 0, right? And if I talk about minus 0.15, then this is a value that is going to be plotted in between 0.2 and 0.1. Why? Because if I talk about let's talk about this. I know it is going a little deeper, but you have to understand it in order to plot this much smaller value, right? So this value minus 0.15 is going to be in between these two numbers, 0.2 and 0.1. How? Let's see this. Minus 0.2 and minus 0.1. The values in between these will be minus 0.19. Why? Because it's not minus 0.2. It is minus 0.20, right? So 20, after 20, we are going to have 19, then we have 18, then we have 0.17, then we have minus 0.16, minus 0.15, then 14, then 13, then 12, then 11, and then 0. Right? So this is somewhere going to be in between minus 0.2 and 0.1, right? So if you got the understanding of that where the exact position of 0.15 is, it is going to be in between 0.2 and 0.1, right? And we know that 0.2 and 0.1 is going to be where? It is going to be somewhere over here, very close to 0. Let's see, we have already plotted minus 0.5, very close to 0. Okay, let's suppose this is your minus 1, this is your 0.5, then can you imagine where 0.1 will be? Sorry, 0.2 and 0.1 will be. It will be more nearer to 0, right? Let's suppose this is your 0.1. Then 0.15 is going to be the value that is in between 0.2 and 0.1. So we have to place it somewhere very, very close to 0. So let's do it this way. Okay, I have plotted 0.5 over here. Let's plot 0.15 more near to 0, like this, 0.15. You cannot plot exactly, but you must have an understanding that where would be its exact position, right? So it's just an approximation. We know that this value is going to be very, very near to 0, right? So it's an approximation. You need to just plot like this, very, very close to 0 with a negligible distance, right? So this is how you need to plot your values using a number line. So I hope you have understood this question, and in the next video we are going to do part we have to do question number 6 of this exercise. So I hope this question is clear to all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned, stay connected, and if you want to complete the exercise, then go ahead, see the next video. Take care, bye bye.